What's going on, guys? So we're back at it again. Be detailed, auto detailing. Just another day at the regular old body shop. So we're over here knocking out a Toyota Tacoma. I traditionally like to call them Tacomas because if you look at how it's spelled, it's just basically taco with ma at the end. It's just entertaining for me. But back at it with the Harbor Freight polisher and the wool pad. You will notice in this right now, I am using a 7-inch wool pad, not a 5-inch wool pad like you guys saw me use in the video. And a big reason of that is because when I washed myself on the last video, I realized that I could have saved a lot of time using a larger pad in an area where there was a lot of wide open room. You know, I was basically on a fucking prairie plain. So why not get after it, right? Just like rip it open, let it go. So pulled out the 7-inch pad, and I knew that I could navigate these spaces pretty well. I've polished a couple of these Tacoma doors and cabs and whatnot, and so I have a little bit of experience with it, which means that I've also burnt through before on this kind of door right here. It was black paint. If you notice right now, I'm about to like start kind of curving and tilting my polisher, going in certain ways and exiting at certain points. There is a slight, like, I don't even know how to explain the shape, but there's a certain shape in there that if you're not careful, it's very easy to ride up on it and essentially thin out paint on what could basically be considered a high spot. And you're gonna polish and polish and polish and think it's no problem, it's all flat, it's all good, and you're gonna burn through sometimes. I don't know, it like not like with certainty, like, oh, if you don't polish this right, you're gonna blow, but like, it's something to be wary of. It's something that's traumatized me since it's happened. So now I'm like on the extra lookout whenever I go around those Tacoma doors and I'm on that corner. I start moving my polisher as if on that body line, as if I'm trying to navigate an edge, because I know that if I just go up on it like it's flat and it's no big deal, it's very easy for me to thin out paint. And if I thin out paint, that means my chances of burning through are way higher. And as I heard today, you're only one pass away from disaster. So we don't want that, right? We want to try to avoid that if we can. So here we are, blowing the pad out. We've pretty much got this door cut down. Door's looking good. Job's done, right? All we really got to do is go back and refine it. So we're moving on to the next door. We're just cutting it out. Same thing. Wool pad, large open panel, just knocking the scratches out. Just knocking the 5,000 off real quick. I might have only sanded this up to 3,000 actually. I can't quite remember. No, I sanded this up to 5,000 because I thought this was a pretty dark color, a pretty dark gray. Could you have stopped at 3,000 and polished it out? Probably. But we have the 5,000, and so I figured, look, if you got it, why not use it? It's not that much more sanding, and ultimately, by sanding with that, it just gives me less time to introduce all the variables of buffing all the variables to the paint that buffing can bring. Although I love buffing, I want my buffing to be clean and effective. And if 5,000 helps me do that on a given job, especially on black, I'm always going to hit black, reds, dark blues, probably dark grays like this. I'm always going to try to hit those with 5,000 because your life is just going to be way easier if you have it. You can absolutely finish a job at 3,000 though if you need to, but as high as you can go. I haven't used 8,000. Somebody might ask me about it in the comments when if this video ends up getting more traction. We don't carry 8,000 at the particular shop that I work at So we just never got on that board. We never got on that train. 5,000 green disc is where it at. That's just what we've been using. So I don't have experience with that. Sorry, it is pretty late. But sorry that you guys can't see the polisher. I'm kind of like blocking my own view here. But I'm just coming up on basically this cab corner, I'm pretty sure, and the part of the door up by the window. Just like I said, polishing out, getting all those sand scratches out, and getting ready to go ahead and refine this. So traditionally, I would have hit this with the microfiber, but I was in an experimentation mood today, and I went ahead and took a Buff and Shine heavy polishing pad. It's from the Reflection Artist kit. I actually happened to win this at like this little detail conference I went to, hosted by Detail World. Shout out to Detail World. Guys are awesome. They carry great products, and they were awesome enough to host this event for us. So I basically answered a question right, and I won a pack, and I had these pads, and I really wanted to try one out in this particular setting. So I snagged this to try to refine the holograms, and I will say it doesn't do a bad job. I mean, the finish we got was pretty dang good out of this. I will say, though, in more cases than not, I'd probably still would use the microfiber, or maybe just a more aggressive foam pad, something like a maroon medium cut from their lineup. You could even do McGuire's maroon medium cut. The color of the pad isn't really what matters. It's just what its purpose is designated for. Cutting foam pad or a heavy foam polishing pad. In my particular case, though, I tend to go with either the microfiber, Jessicar, McGuire's, Oberk, or you could even do the Rupes medium or coarse wool with the DA. I mean, any of those on a DA, for the most part, should take your holograms out. I'm a fan of fiber pads. I really like them a lot. I tend to like foam mainly for my finishing process. That's just me. Or if I'm doing a really light one-step, I like to keep my arsenal is growing slowly with like pad selections and stuff like that. But being as I haven't been that long into the polishing game, I don't carry much. I mean, hence why all my tools are Harbor Freight. By the way, I forgot to shout out the Harbor Freight DA, just repping it up. Bauer 20mm workhorse. Get yourself a Harbor Freight DA if you haven't yet, man. I know they catch a lot of flack, or at least I feel like Harbor Freight catches a lot of flack. I feel like a lot of that's probably changed, but I would say it seems to be the case that Harbor Freight catches a lot of flack, and I think that they should be given more of a chance, man. I think they're a little underrated. I think their detailed division is absolutely killing it with these polishers. Speaking of which, side rant, I am looking to get that forced rotation Hercules that they just bought, man. That they just bought into the lineup. That thing looks so sick. I did not expect them to model it after the 3401 Flex VRG. Like that blew my mind. My jaw dropped when I found that out. Like, I knew they were doing the forced rotation thing, and I don't know why in my mind that I figured it was just going to look like the Rupes Mille more than anything. But, man, seeing it look like the Flex 3401, especially after I just used their battery-powered one at the Detail World Detail Training Convention, like, man, that's just freaking awesome. Like, now I'm like, I'm really excited to get one. I'm not that great at force rotation. Like, as far as using it, it is weird. It's not like using a DA, but it's not like using a rotary either. It's a hybrid. It's literally a hybrid of the DA and the rotary. And it is really cool. And I'd love to be able to get better at using it and be more efficient and effective and using it to its maximum potential, which is one of the reasons why I do want to get that Harbor Freight tool. But also, I just want a Harbor Freight lineup, man. Like, all day, give me the rotary, give me the DA, give me the force rotation, and I'll run it. I'll run it, no problem. Sorry about that. I just yawned again. But I'll run it all day, though. They are really entertaining tools, man. But here we are, blowing out our pad. We just finished up the refinement on this door, and all the swirls are pretty much out for the most part. So here we are. By the way, Bigfoot sticker on the polisher. I didn't know if I was going to put it on this one or my Drill Master, but I just went ahead and put it on because I felt like, old Missy here could use a little bit of cosmetic. And you know what? I think it fit because it's my favorite tool, and this thing has power. This thing cuts like a beast, and so it makes sense to put a picture of a beast on the polisher. But we're just knocking out the bedside. This was on the other side of the truck. One thing I want to mention that you guys might notice I'm doing differently is in this video I am drawing smaller beads to essentially I'm working smaller sections with less product. And the reason I'm doing that is I was watching myself in my last video. Like I said, one of the reasons I'm filming myself and posting this online is so that I can look at my technique. I can look at my areas. Okay, how am I navigating? How am I polishing? Am I paying attention? Am I over polishing? Am I under polishing? Am I short cycling, long cycling? I mean, I'm paying attention to all these sorts of things. And one of the things I noticed is like, hey, I'm using a lot of freaking product and we're running out of product really fast. And you're not making the most out of your product. And also, you're trying to work too big of an area section with too small of a pad. So, inverse. Work smaller section passes, use bigger pads, but use less product. Not you don't want to use so little product that you're just dry buffing, because then you're just like scratching the surface. You're not actually polishing it and cutting it down. But you don't want to put so much product down that you're essentially hydroplaning and you're just slipping around. And it's the same thing if you've ever sanded, like with the Trizac discs or even just the traditional 3M's wet or dry sandpaper. Like, you put too much water on that, like, you're gonna lose some of your bite. You're not gonna actually get the grip that you want. You know, there needs to be a proper amount of bite that you get into the paint, but not so much that you're just gouging and, painfully like ripping into the paint. So and every day I'm telling you guys, I learned this from a body tech, man. He taught me. We were having a conversation about polishing, and we talked about this concept about not using so much product that you're just slipping. He's like, well, you got to remember, buffing and sanding are the same thing. Use too much water, you're just gonna glide around and hydroplane. The same thing with buffing. Use too much product, and you're just gonna be slipping around, spinning your wheels, and you're not getting anywhere. But use too little, then you don't have enough to get any of the job done. You're just kind of throwing an abrasive pad onto a surface with no real ability to cut the paint back. But or at least efficiently, in a way that's getting you that leveled finish that you want. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to practice here. One of the things I find that helps is when you pick up your bead is just to pump the trigger a few times around the area that you want to work, and then go ahead and kick it up a notch and start working. Me being a show off here, trying to do it one hand. I will say, I do think that okay, I gotta say it. It blows my mind. It wasn't a year ago that I never wanted to use this tool, and now it's my favorite tool. But not only is it my favorite tool, now I'm able to handle it one-handed, and be a little showboat about it. It just blows my mind, just like my personal evolution as a detailer. I know you guys are seeing this, in like what's going to be the very early days of my videos, but like I've been polishing paint, since 2020, July of 2020. Not in this particular way where it's like wet sanding and buffing. I just kind of polish my car for fun as an enthusiast, right? That's where it started, was just with that Porter cable. But now here I am, rotary polisher, taking out sand scratches, removing dirt nibs and texture, and I mean, it's really cool, man. It's just such a change of, how do I even say, it's just such a change of perspective and experience as what I thought it meant to be a detailer, the kind of detailing I thought I was going to end up doing. I guess it's just one of those things. Every time I think about it, I'm just really proud of myself, and I just hope to keep getting better. I just hope to keep going further, because I love this stuff a lot, man. I've really fallen for it. Wet sanding and polishing cars. It's just something that I really appreciate. I really, really appreciate the process. I mean, it can be grueling for sure. And there's still so much to learn. I'm still so young when it comes to this aspect of polishing. But point being is, you guys are seeing me at a point where I've already been polishing paint for almost 3 years now. And I've only learned the rotary polisher for just a little over 1. And, I go from being scared of this tool, barely able to really control it, to now being a showboat about it and hitting one hand. Not that I think you should be a show off, but that there's a level of confidence in where you've come with your skills, and that it's something that you like to document for yourself, like, hey, look at me, man, I don't know, that's just like a little rant though, to, I guess, self-reflect on where my journey's been as a detailer, and where I'd like to go in the next few years, and hopefully for the future of my career. I feel like this is something that I could continue to do. So I know that I probably shouldn't be hitting a 7-inch wool pad in these tighter areas, and as you are going to see, I'm going to go ahead and grab my mini buff. Nope, I think I actually edited that out. I did go get my Milwaukee to polish those areas a little more precisely, which is what you should do. I think the only reason I went ahead and knocked it out with the larger pad was because I wanted to try to get it done with one tool, and I knew I could fit it in there. But honestly, in a lot of cases, it's better to go for your smaller 3-inch buffing pad and just knock those sections out. You'll get them done really fast. If you know what you're doing and you know how the smaller pads work and how to run your polishers with that kind of stuff, you'll do pretty good. You'll be just fine. But here we are, we're finding this side, taking out the swirls, getting it, basically back to finish, polishing it back to that, or as close to that fresh out of the booth finish, so it's hard though, I just thought about that. You're not, the best that paint's ever gonna look is when it's freshly sprayed, man. Once you sand on it, it's, are you ever gonna get it back to looking that good? I don't know. It's just a weird thought, Once you touch it, that's it. It's a whole different journey now. But let's see, what am I doing here? Alright, walking back. Getting product. That's what I'm doing. By the way, I just realized, not that it really matters, but just realized I was using the Rupes DA coarse compound to refine the finish here. I know some people ask about products, so figured I'd go ahead and answer that question now. And if you guys want me to leave like links to any products that I use or recommend or whatever in the description, let me know. I'll drop some products that I personally like in my particular situation and set of circumstances based on what I know. You know, so I will say not all the products that I use are ideal for everyone. I mean, like, I love M105. I think it's one of the best compounds. I haven't tried every compound, though. I haven't tried that many compounds, I'll say that. But it's one of my favorite compounds. But if you put M105 in a beginner's hand, I know that they're not going to make much sense out of it, and they're going to be like, this is trash. I'm picking up some root bez, you know, I'm picking up some 3D, man. I'm not bothering with that. Oh, I just realized, yeah, I think, you see I'm looking at that flare. I panicked because I started rushing myself a bit, and I thought I nicked the flare, and that it was going to have to go back and get repainted. Thankfully, it wasn't, though, man. Because when I stepped up to stand up and keep polishing, I thought, and it might have the backing plate, not the pad, but the plate itself hit the flare, I thought, because it sounded like something made contact, and I freaked out, and I was like, what the heck just happened? But I started looking at it just to make sure it didn't nick, and it didn't, which is great. But if there's an easy way for you guys to avoid that, go ahead and check out Buff and Shine and find out where you can get those edge guard pads at, because I'm pretty sure they just dropped them at your local distributor. So you better go find out what they got and pull up on them, man, because you don't want to nick paint. That stuff sucks. It's not fun. But anyways, we don't have much time left. As soon as I wipe this down, we're going to bring you guys in for the final results. We've pretty much polished it back to as close of a fresh finish as we can get it. We've hit it with the rotary cut. We've knocked it out with the heavy polishing pad. And we're going to bring you in for the final results just to let you see what it looks like. It's going to be hard to kind of pick it up on camera. I didn't do really like a full walk around. And keep in mind, it's not going to be a perfect finish. I'm just doing this, again, like I said, to go ahead and show you guys what my process is. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you watched, if anything helped, please comment, like, and subscribe. And I will get back to you guys on the next video. Talk to you next time, guys. Peace.